Hello, it's that time again. How are you? Hope you're keeping well. I'm keeping well. Are you fit? I'm healthy, but not very fit. I spend too much time sitting in my chair. I sit here and talk to you, then I wheel my chair over there, talk to people on the radio. I've got to start doing a little bit of exercise, especially with the winter coming, because I'm not out in the garden now, mowing the lawn, digging things, running around doing this and that. I'm indoors most of the time. We do go for walks, but not very far, to be honest. I must start some kind of fitness or exercise regime. I'll worry about that tomorrow. Never do today what you can put off until tomorrow. Red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning, but it's meant to be nice later. 7C at the moment, which is 44 Fahrenheit, 90%, not 97, 90% humidity, 1035 millibars on the barometer. The flag is doing nothing. Oh no, hang on, it's making an effort. No, it's doing nothing. Do you remember I talked about the Lido on the seafront here in Worthing? And I said some people call it Lido, some call it Lido. I've had an email from Caroline, hello Caroline, up in Northamptonshire. She says, a friend of mine has a dog called Fido. Should I call him Fido? That's a good point, actually. What I call the Lido is Lido. The dog Fido is Fido. So should he be Fido? That's a good point. Quite a few emails about that. It's pronunciation, isn't it? Everyone's going to be different. Also, someone in Worthing said, have you tried the Chinese fish and chip shop near West Worthing Station? I have tried, I don't know about that one in particular. Chinese chips seem to be really nice. I must admit, they are excellent. If ever we have a Chinese takeaway, I always make sure I have chips with it. Tricia has rice. I don't like rice. And the chips are wonderful. What is the difference? How do they cook them? Somehow it's different. I don't know what they do. Anyone know? Perhaps you could enlighten me. Raise rants at protonmail.com. Why are Chinese chips different? Quite a few emails about grandchildren. Do you remember I talked about grandchildren? I remember our second grandchild. I carried him out of the hospital in a carrier thing, you know. Our third grandchild, I held her when she was only a couple of hours old. That was lovely. And I remember feeding her with a bottle. It was at our house. I was sitting in an armchair with her in my arms and I'm feeding her with a bottle. And I said to Trish, do you know, the day will come when she comes here to see us, she'll turn up in her own car. And Trish was saying, oh, that's at least 17 years away. It happened. I remember the day she drew up here outside our house in her own car. What a fantastic day that was. Funnily enough, we were sitting in front of the fire a few days ago, one evening, had the coal fire going, the curtains drawn, you know, it's dark and it's wintry. And we were talking about our next Isle of Wight holiday, which is in May 2025. And then we started talking about taking the grandchildren and all the memories. We sat there for a good hour or so. Do you remember this? Oh, do you remember when they did that? When we went swimming? Wonderful, lovely memories of those holidays. And they have the memories. They often talk about it. They often talk about our Isle of Wight holidays. Grandchild number 3, who drove down here in her car, she will often phone us and say, all right, if I pop down, are you doing anything today? Can I come and see you? And she'll drive down here and spend a few hours with us. All of them love coming here, which is really nice. It makes me feel really good. And, of course, we have 2 lovely granddaughters living in North Carolina. Hello, if you're listening. Don't see a lot of them, obviously, as they're about 3,000 miles away. But we see photographs and videos and all this stuff, so we can keep up with what's going on, what's happening. It's lovely. I wouldn't be without grandchildren. I really wouldn't. A friend of mine many years ago and his wife, they didn't want children, which is fine. You don't have to have children. And it was only in later years when he saw us with our grandchildren, when he said to me, we both wish we'd had children now. We realise now that a lot of our friends have got grandchildren. We realise what we're missing out on. Of course, it was too late then. They just didn't want children, which was fine. When they were younger, they'd go off on holidays. Oh, we don't have kids to worry about. We can go here and there on holidays. But of course, later in life, they both wish they had had children. The memories of our holidays with the grandchildren are just fantastic. We often talk about it. But it's nice that the grandchildren often talk about it. They have these memories, and they will have the memories forever, won't they? They'll be telling their kids, oh, we used to go to the Isle of Wight with Grandma and Grandad. Excellent. No, they won't be saying Grandma and Grandad, will they? They'll be saying Great Grandma and Grandad. So they'll be our great-grandchildren. That'll be next, won't it? We'll be having loads of great-grandchildren. Let's move on. The new water butt I bought and installed is still out there. The drain pipe goes into it. There's no water. It hasn't rained for now. When did I buy that? A week and a half ago? I don't think it's rained for at least 2 weeks. And there's no rain in the forecast. In fact, they're supposed... Oh, blue sky. They did say it would be sunny this afternoon. Isn't it marvellous? I bought a water butt and I knew it wouldn't rain for weeks. I was saying to people, now I bought a water butt, it won't rain, and it hasn't. It hasn't rained. If you don't want it to rain, buy a water butt. That'll stop it. It's strange, isn't it, how these things happen. Trish said I should do a rain dance out in the back garden, naked. I don't think that might bring the neighbours out complaining, but I don't think it would bring the rain on. I remember one year we bought a new parasol, a big umbrella thing, and we were really keen to put it up in the garden. And from the day we bought it, the sun didn't come out for well over a week. We'd had sunny day after sunny day. Bought the parasol thing. No sun for well over a week. I've also had quite a few emails from people that say they still have shops in their town that they remember going to when they were a child. It's good. There must be a lot of shops everywhere. Not only shops, of course, buildings. I mean, our house here is over 100 years old. So obviously this was here before I was even born. I'm thinking more of shops, a shop that perhaps your parents took you into when you were a child. Dave up in Scotland there, hello Dave, your parents took you into a hairdresser when you were a child to have your hair cut, and you still go to the same hairdresser. It's still there, different people obviously, but it's the same place, and it's always been a barber's shop, isn't it? Why do they call them hairdresser now? The men used to be a barber. They now call them hairdresser. You know that whirly sign, the red and white stripes whirling outside the barber shop? I discovered a few years ago now what that's for, what it means. They used to do bloodletting. If you've got high blood pressure, you go into the barber's, have your hair cut, and he'd stick leeches on you at the same time to get rid of some blood so your blood pressure goes down. Apparently that's what that sign means. Have your blood leached here. Just had an email from the chap that mentioned the Chinese fish and chip shop near West Worthing Station. He says, you haven't tried the shop I referred to. I haven't, I will do. I don't know your name, it's a shame I don't know your name, but thanks for your messages. I shall go out to West Worthing Station and have a look, see where it is, and I will sample their chips. Thanks for the messages. Excellent. Lillian, nice to hear from you. You've sent me 2 photographs. One of your house with you outside playing in the street when you were a child, playing in the street with other children. You've pointed out which one is you. I love these old black and white photos. You don't want this put online, of course, which is fair enough. You were an only child, so when your parents passed away, they left the house to you. And you've sent a photo of the house as it is now. What a difference. The pavement blocked up with cars. They've parked all over the pavements. They do everywhere, Lillian, in our street. It's full of cars on the pavements. She says you couldn't get a pram or a pushchair, a wheelchair through. You'd have to go into the road. So children now, there's no way they could play on the street. I used to play out in the street from when I was about, 5, 6 years old? Maybe 7, I can't remember, of course. I'd play out in the street with the other children in the road. And if a car came along, we'd see it. If we didn't see it, he'd go toot toot, and they were only going slowly up the little side roads where I lived. Obviously, we didn't play in the middle of the main road. That would be dangerous. Yes, I know. Far fewer cars, less than, far fewer people. You couldn't do that now. Lillian's point is, what's going to happen in the future? More and more cars, more and more people. Already the pavements are blocked with parked cars because the roads are narrow. Our road is very narrow. You couldn't park each side of the road because you blocked the road. Traffic wouldn't be able to get through, especially the bigger vehicles like the dust cart and whatever. They wouldn't be able to fit through the parked cars. So people have to park on the pavements. A lot of people have lost their front gardens. We have. When we moved in here, it was already gone, the front garden. So people now park their cars on a driveway, which was the front garden. Bit of a shame, really, to lose all the front gardens, all the flowers and the grass. That's a shame. But really, there's no choice. It's either that or park on the pavement outside, or halfway on the pavement anyway. And even then, there wouldn't be enough room. You'd have to park round the corner somewhere. The parking everywhere is just dreadful. Playing out in the street, as we used to, was a good way to get to know the other children in the road. Otherwise, you're stuck in your garden, normally the back garden. You're stuck there. You don't get to meet the other kids. I used to love going out there. Summer day, I'd go out in the street. There'd be others out there playing marbles and cigarette cards. I'd go and join in. It was really nice. Thanks, Lillian, for the photos. We actually have a photo of Trisha's great-grandmother outside our house, standing by the front gate, because she lived here originally. And it's amazing to see the house back then. No cars on the pavement. The picture's taken from over the road somewhere. So you can see her great-grandmother by the front gate and then the house. There are also several pictures of the back of the house, in the garden, the way it used to be. There was an apple tree, plum trees, they've all gone. It's quite nice to see what the house was like many, many, many decades ago. Well, it's over 100 years old. I don't know when. I think some of these photos were 1920 something. I'm not sure of the date. Anyway, that'll do for now. Hope you've enjoyed the midweek message. I shall be back on Sunday, of course, with the almost hour-long episode. Don't forget to email me, rants@protonmail.com. As usual, I have no idea what Sunday's episode is going to be about. We might be going to Pulborough Brooks this week. That's if something doesn't happen and we can't go for whatever reason. If we do, I shall take my little recorder with me. I might even take some photos, actually, for the website, rants.info. That's enough from me. Take care, look after yourselves, be good. If you're bad, don't get caught. See you on Sunday. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye for now.